Evening. Evening all. We'll get onto that in a second. This is another meal prep idea using up bits and bobs that you've got laying around or stuff that you've stockpiled. I would have used my dehydrated mushrooms, but I made a dish last night which was a can of that sliced into 3 slices. 1 slice has gone in the freezer. 3 slices. The other 2 thick slices were fried, both sides. Then I had a slice of pineapple on one, which was dated April 2021. So, yeah, that doesn't look great, but I can assure you that it was fine. Disclaimer, you eat out of date food at your own risk. It's on you, not me. You do it. Fill your boots. So I had a couple of pineapple rings on one gammon slice. This was in date. I couldn't find the other ones, but I'm not worried about them. I don't know if you can make that out. It's July 2025, look. Make it out. There. So yeah, I had a fried egg on one gammon, pineapple rings on the other one, and I went out and got another organic ingredient to go with that, and I've kind of sort of replicated that tonight, but without the gammon. Apparently I'm a gammon. White middle-aged man, I'm a gammon. I love gammon. You love gammon. So it's a compliment. So this is it. And I've got to admit, I've just tried some, and I think this is one of the best dishes I've made. It's gorgeous. So yeah, I ended up using fresh mushrooms in the dish last night as well. So, but your dehydrated mushrooms will be just as good, no problem, in a dish like this. Again, for anyone that's not watched any of the previous cooking videos, dehydrated mushrooms, bring them to the boil in plenty of good quality water, not none of that shit out of the tap, and then let to simmer for up to half an hour, and then just tip it in your dish. So what's gone into this dish? So in this part, there was a third of a red onion, mushrooms, about five of those close cut mushrooms. This Chinese curry sauce, which is dated. I wish I always got the kind of. There we go. Look, just to save time. May 2022. Again, use at your own risk. So that went in there, and 80 grams of cashew nuts, of course, my signature. And yeah, I think that's all that went into that. So just cashew nuts, mushrooms, a third of an onion, and peck chicken. You know these small cans? This was in date as well. I've got some. I didn't really do much looking around. One of the reasons that I used this one up, which was still in date up until December, I think. Is it December? Yeah, December. The reason I use this can is because it's got a small dent, and it had a small dent. I normally check for dents when I buy any cans. And I didn't notice that, or it might have got dented in the bag when I was packing it. I don't know. So it was surprisingly very chicken-like, very chicken breast-like. So yeah, I was quite impressed. So I chopped that up into, I don't know, kind of nearly an inch thick cubes, and then browned that off, browned the chicken off with the onion and the mushrooms, and then I threw the cashew nuts. Always throw the cashew nuts in, a couple of minutes towards the end, because you don't want them going soft. Now the rice is, don't look at all of that mess. This is my job tomorrow, to try and get organised. This is the easy cook rice that I got out of that tub that was opened for the first time since 2020. So I'm starting to work my way through this easy cook rice, and it was perfect for this. And the rice is perfect, nice and fluffy. It's not sticking together like rice pudding. In with that rice is 1 full large red chilli, finely chopped, and 6 cloves of garlic, finely chopped. And then I fried them up together just a little bit, not much. Just fried them up a little bit to soften them, and then added them to the rice. Along with that, because that's all that's gone into the rice, is the little red chilies. You can make them out. And what else did I put in there? What else did I say? I wish I was more organised, Yeah, garlic. So fresh garlic from being pickled. 1 large red chilli from being pickled. And I bought those months and months ago. If you've watched the video, it was a prep food haul, and I had a big stack of chilies, packs of chilies here, and I just chucked them in there, and they're perfect. So the chilies, the garlic, and the green stuff is the humble dead nettle. And the way you tell the difference between a dead nettle and a stinging nettle is dead nettles have got white flowers. Stinging nettles, sometimes they have more purpley flowers. But yeah, they've got flowers. Whereas stinging nettles, the flowers on stinging nettles are generally the same colour as the plant. And dead nettles also, they don't grow as high as stinging nettles, and they don't sting. And the seeds are good for you. The flowers are very, very good for you. In fact, did I write something down about them? I did. Right, so you can skip this bit, fast forward a little bit if you're not interested. And then I'll move on to one more thing, and then I'll leave you to get on with the rest of your evening. So, dead nettles are very, very high in vitamin C, and iron, and fibre. And the seeds are packed full of antioxidants. Antioxidants, there's a fine line between antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, because they sort of do the same thing. So the more anti-inflammatory food you put into your body, the less your chances of getting cancer. And that's a fact. Cancer loves inflamed bodies. Loves it. The flowers are medicinal. And they're off the flowers. I've chucked the flowers in there as well. So I just stripped. Oh, and dead nettles do tend to grow next to stinging nettles. So I did get caught out. So I'd say about 90% of the dead nettles. The rest are stinging nettles, as I found out the hard way. The flowers can be used for conditions such as eczema. You have to look into this and the applications. Please look into this yourself. Eczema, Pharyngite, sore throat, heavy periods, although I'm not quite sure how you'd apply that, which is also known as menorrhagitis, when you're really, really heavy. The flowers, if when you've put them into the correct kind of format, chopped them up, and look into it. Please look into it. If you're starting to look into these herbal remedy books, which I'm hoping you are, it will explain how to use these, and then apply to the affected area. So that could be inflammation of the mouth, throat, skin, and for vaginal discharge, which is yes. So quickly moving on, the amount of dead nettles that I actually picked, once they've been reduced down, they're almost non-existent, but they're very, very, very good for you. They're not quite as good for you as stinging nettles, but they're very, very good for you. You know, it blows anything else out of the water. On top of the fact that it's completely organic and it's completely free. So that's what went in it. And again, if you want to go back and make notes on how it was put together, you fill your boots. And yeah, that little video that I put about the police force, it's all true. I've been trying to tell you this for years. You know my feelings. So now I'm hoping it makes more sense to you now as to why Mark Rowley is such a wanker, because he's got there is, you know, what people perceive as a police officer and what they actually are two very different things. And then they're two very different things again when you look at the Met Police, because the City of London is officially a completely different country. It's a different country. So it's got its own laws, it's got its own police force. That's why Westminster is smack bang in the middle of it. You know? It's so dodgy. It's so dodgy. You know? Bring on that revolution. You know? We can police ourselves. We just need to get organised. Again, I'm not advocating for violence. This can be done peacefully. It could. But they're not going to let it. So I hope you've got something out of this dish. I've tasted it and it's gorgeous. Oh, and so on top of the red chilies, the red chilies, the roasted garlic, and the dead nettles and stinging nettles, I also poured a good glug of sweet chili sauce, light sweet chili sauce, so there's less sugar in there, and then just mixed it all together in the bowl and then poured that on the top. So that's it. If you don't want to use sweet chili sauce, you can get away with soy sauce. That will work. Worcester sauce in moderation. And if you want a real kick, some of that. Just mix that in with your rice, your dead nettles, your chilies and your garlic, and you're good to go. Much love. Ciao for now.